What if one of the world's most trusted creators, a man known for generosity, transparency, and doing things the right way, launched a business that became one of the most hated food brands online? That's exactly what happened. It's the story of MrBeast Burger, a venture that promised to revolutionize fast food, empower small restaurants, and redefine what influencer-led businesses could be, but instead became a case study in how speed and scale can destroy even the strongest brands. Because this isn't a story about greed. It's a story about control, quality, and the limits of digital trust. And at the center of it all is Jimmy Donaldson, a YouTuber who turned kindness into currency and ambition into empire. But this time, the empire bit back. We need to go back to 2020, one of the darkest years in modern business. The pandemic had shut down dining rooms across America. Ghost kitchens, also called virtual restaurants, were commercial facilities used exclusively for delivery. No tables, no servers, just kitchens producing food for delivery apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats. It was low overhead, high flexibility, and for struggling restaurants, a lifeline. Enter MrBeast. At just 22 years old, Jimmy Donaldson was already one of the biggest creators on the planet. His reputation, pure gold. He wasn't a scandal-driven YouTuber, he was the philanthropic one. So when he announced he was launching a food brand, not a toy, not a merch line, but an actual restaurant, fans trusted it instantly. But Jimmy wasn't building physical restaurants, he was building a network. MrBeast partnered with Virtual Dining Concepts, a company founded by Robert Earl, the entrepreneur behind Planet Hollywood and Hard Rock Cafe. VDC's model was simple. Any restaurant with extra kitchen space could apply to cook and sell MrBeast burgers using their existing staff and equipment. They'd get access to the recipes, packaging, and branding, and in return, share profits. From a business standpoint, it was genius. On December 19th, 2020, MrBeast launched the brand with over 300 locations live simultaneously. By January, that number had doubled. Within 6 months, over 1,000 kitchens across North America and Europe were selling MrBeast burgers. The first physical launch event in Wilson, North Carolina was chaotic in the best way. Traffic jams, hours-long lines, fans crying tears of excitement. In just a few months, MrBeast Burger generated an estimated $100 million in revenue. It was hailed as the Uber of food brands, a proof of concept that influencers could rival traditional corporations. But there was one major flaw. MrBeast didn't own the kitchens, he didn't employ the chefs, he couldn't control quality. And in the food industry, quality isn't optional. It started small, a Reddit post here, a TikTok video there, fans showing off what they ordered, expecting the perfect glossy burger they saw online. But what they got looked different. Cold fries, raw patties, soggy buns. One order came with no meat, another with a slice of cheese slapped on lettuce. Not from haters, but from fans. Creators like Review Bra and Ordinary Gamers tried it and described it as all over the place. One even said, "It feels like Russian roulette with burgers." On Trustpilot, the brand's rating fell below 1.7 stars. Thousands of reviews described it as inedible, greasy, and a waste of money. The irony? Every bad experience wasn't just a restaurant's failure, it was Jimmy's failure. His name was on the box, his face was on the packaging. Even though he never made the food, fans held him accountable. Behind the scenes, things weren't smooth either. Virtual Dining Concepts was rapidly expanding, signing up hundreds of restaurants eager to cash in on the MrBeast name. But that expansion came at a cost: quality control. Many kitchens didn't follow standardized recipes. Some used cheaper ingredients to save costs. Others couldn't handle the volume of orders. Delivery times lagged. Customer complaints skyrocketed. By 2022, MrBeast's team began quietly receiving waves of negative feedback. But VDC pushed for more expansion. They wanted to capitalize on the brand's fame while it was hot. For Jimmy, who'd built his image on doing things right, that became unbearable. In June 2023, Jimmy Donaldson broke his silence. He tweeted, "The company that runs my ghost kitchens won't let me stop, even though it's terrible for my brand." That single post sent shockwaves across the industry. Fans were stunned, restaurants were confused, and investors started asking questions. If MrBeast himself was calling his own brand terrible, what did that say about the business? Within weeks, MrBeast sued Virtual Dining Concepts, claiming they had destroyed his brand reputation. In his lawsuit, he accused VDC of serving low-quality, inedible food, opening hundreds of unapproved locations, and misleading customers. VDC hit back with a $100 million countersuit, claiming Jimmy breached his contract and damaged their reputation. What began as a feel-good business story had turned into a full-blown legal war. MrBeast Burger wasn't the only influencer ghost kitchen out there. VDC had similar partnerships: Mariah Carey's Cookies, Pauly D's Italian Subs, Tiger Bites. But after the MrBeast controversy, people started looking closer. Most of these brands had the same problem: inconsistent quality, unreliable delivery, and disappointed fans. The ghost kitchen gold rush that began in 2020 had started to fade by 2023. Data from Euromonitor showed that while the ghost kitchen market hit $70 billion in 2021, by late 2023, consumer attention had dropped by 40%. People didn't just want fast delivery anymore, they wanted trust. And the MrBeast Burger saga became the cautionary tale for every influencer thinking they could scale authenticity. By mid-2023, MrBeast Burger locations were vanishing from Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. Some restaurants stopped renewing their contracts. Others quietly replaced MrBeast branding with generic burger listings. Fans began noticing. Reddit threads titled, "Is MrBeast Burger Dead?" spread across forums. Even hardcore supporters started admitting the experience was inconsistent at best, embarrassing at worst. By late 2024, the brand had effectively disappeared. So, what did all of this mean financially? Estimates from Business Insider and Restaurant Dive suggest that MrBeast Burger generated between $150 to $200 million in gross revenue across its lifetime. But profit margins in ghost kitchens are thin, often just 15 to 20%. That means, at best, the brand may have netted around $30 to $40 million total, much of which went to partner restaurants and VDC. For context, MrBeast's main YouTube channel generates $3 to $5 million per month in ad revenue alone. Financially, the burger venture was a fraction of his empire, but reputationally, it hit harder than anything he'd done before. Because when a MrBeast video fails, it's forgotten in a week. When a MrBeast Burger fails, it's photographed, shared, and immortalized online. After the downfall, Jimmy quietly shifted focus to his other major business, Feastables, his chocolate and snack company. Unlike the ghost kitchen model, MrBeast controls Feastables directly, from sourcing ingredients to packaging. The chocolate bars are manufactured under tight quality standards and distributed through major retailers like Walmart and Target. And it worked. By 2024, Feastables had already pulled in over $100 million in revenue. And unlike MrBeast Burger, it started off with a pretty positive reputation. But if you want to see how that story really turned out, check out our video on Feastables. For Jimmy, it was proof that when you control the process, you control the reputation. The MrBeast Burger story isn't about burgers. It's about what happens when digital influence meets physical logistics. Because when a YouTuber launches a product, fans expect it to feel like them. Precise, ethical, consistent. But food doesn't scale like content. You can't upload a quality check. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. MrBeast didn't set out to scam anyone. He wanted to help restaurants survive, give fans a fun experience, and experiment with a new business model. But in trying to help thousands, he lost control of the one thing that mattered most: trust. Today, MrBeast Burger is a ghost of its former self. Its website remains live, but inactive. The brand's social media hasn't posted in over a year. VDC continues to defend its model, but most creators have moved on. Meanwhile, MrBeast has doubled down on what made him great in the first place: direct involvement, transparency, and giving back. His new business projects are more hands-on, more controlled, and more transparent. In 2024, he said in a live stream, "It taught me a lot. I wanted to help, but I learned that if your name's on something, you need to control every piece of it." So, was MrBeast Burger a failure? It depends on how you measure success. Financially, it was massive. Operationally, it was chaos. Reputationally, it was a wake-up call. But it changed the landscape. After its rise and fall, influencers became more cautious, brands became more transparent, and fans more skeptical. MrBeast Burger became the warning sign at the edge of a new era. The end of blind trust in influencer products. And maybe that's exactly what the industry needed. Because if the most trusted creator in the world could lose control of his own brand, it forced everyone else to ask a question they'd been avoiding. Can you really scale authenticity? Jimmy's answer came not in tweets, but in action. He pivoted, rebuilt, and came back stronger. Not through gimmicks, but through ownership, precision, and humility. MrBeast Burger didn't ruin him. It refined him. And in the story of modern business, that might be the most important lesson of all. MrBeast Burger wasn't just fast food. It was a fast lesson in trust, control, and what happens when the internet's biggest name learns the hardest rule in business. If it carries your name, it carries your responsibility.
I know you're not following what I'm saying anyway, right? That's okay, that doesn't matter. The real question is this: is all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.